Happy Voxtober, everybody. So I decided to reading a book, a passage from a book. And I chose Fahrenheit 451 by Ray Bradbury, mainly because it's a banned book, air quotes in my country, and I did it as vengeance against my own government. No wonder it's on the banned book list. 1. The Hearth and the Salamander. It was a pleasure to burn. It was a special pleasure to see things eaten, to see things blackened and changed. With a brass nozzle in his fists, with this great python spitting its venomous kerosene upon the world, blood pounded in his head. His hands were the hands of an amazing conductor, playing all the symphonies of blazing and burning, to bring down the tatters and charcoal ruins of history. With his symbolic helmet numbered 451 on his stolted head, and his eyes all orange with flame. With the thought what came next, he flicked the igniter, and the house jumped up in a gorging fire that burned the evening sky, red and yellow and black. He strode in, warm of fireflies. He wanted above all, like the old joke, to shove a marshmallow on a stick in the furnace. Well, the flapping pigeon-winged books died on the porch and lawn of the house, while books went up in sparkling whirls and blew away on a wind turned black with burning. Montag grinned, the fierce grin of all men singed and driven back by flame. He knew when he returned to the firehouse he might wink at himself, minstrel man, burnt corked in the mirror. Later, going to sleep, he would feel the fiery smile still gripped at his face muscles in the dark. It never went away, that smile. It never went away as long as he remembered. He hung up his black beetle-colored helmet and shined it. He hung his flame-proof jacket neatly. He showered luxuriously, and when whistling, hands in pockets, walked across the upper floor of the fire station and found down the hole. At the last moment, when disaster seemed positive, he pulled his hands from his pockets and broke his fall by grasping at the golden pole. He slid to a squeaking halt, the heels 1 inch from the concrete floor downstairs. He walked out of the fire station along the midnight street towards the subway. The silent air-propelled train slid soundlessly down. Its lubricated flute in the earth let him out with a great puff of warm air onto the cream-tiled escalator, rising to the suburb. Whistling, he let the escalator waft him into the night air. He walked toward the corner, thinking little and all about nothing in particular. Before he reached the corner, however, he slowed, as if the wind had sprung up from nowhere, as if someone called his name. The last few nights, he had the most uncertain feelings about the sidewalk just around the corner here. Moving onto the starlight towards his house, he had felt a moment prior to making his turn someone had been there. The air seemed charged with a special calm, as if someone had waited there quietly and if only a moment before he came, simply turned into a shadow and let him through. Perhaps his nose detected a faint perfume. Perhaps the skin on the back of his hands, on his face, felt the temperature rise in this one spot where a person standing might raise the immediate atmosphere 10 degrees for an instant. There was no understanding it. Each time he made the turn, I saw white, unused, buckling sidewalk. Perhaps on one night, something vanished swiftly across the lawn before he could focus his eyes or speak.